Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Racing Social Weekend Preview. As you can see, full house tonight. It's not just myself and Dawn, but me and Dawn. The pressure's on, lads, because we were fired in the winners last weekend. So delighted to be joined by Harry, Matty, Dawn, and a big welcome to the main man, Luca Morgan. Luca, start with you. Great to have you on board this week. How's things?
Yeah, really good, thanks. Good to be on. Matty's been pestering me for a while, so glad I was finally able to get on.
And season's going well. What is it, 34 winners now? Flying high?
Yeah, 34, yeah. So got another 2 and a bit months. Hopefully we get to 40, 45 maybe. See how we go.
Yeah, good stuff. Good luck with that. We're all behind you. Dawn, have you recovered from last weekend?
Just about, Joe, that way. I mean, between galloping the Champs legs and mine, I don't know what caused more trouble, but sure, you know yourself. I'm positively filled with all types of fantastic orgasmic emotions for the Ginger Ninja State Man. Okay. He's coming for you. He's coming, and he's coming hard.
And Harry, was loving the air. I heard you in Paris last weekend. Any good?
Yeah, it was all right. Lovely little trip away to Disney with the missus. Didn't manage to get any good self-reception, so couldn't watch any of the races, but hopefully back this week and back with a bang.
No engagements was there out there? No proposals?
Sadly not. Nothing to shout home about, sadly.
And Matty, how's things with you? You all right?
Yeah, all good. Happy to be back on. Been busy the last few weeks.
Enjoyed Dublin Race Festival last week?
I did enjoy what I was seeing of it. I was watching on my phone from the middle of a field at Larkhill point to point, but no, it was good.
Yeah, good. Before we get stuck into the ITB action, we're just going to have literally a brief review of last weekend's main races. Lossiemouth, Harry, Triumph Hurdle, is she still the one to beat?
Yeah, I still think so at this moment in time. Get held by stablemate and in the same colours. Forced wide, come there with a winning run. Bit wide, cost her at the end of the day. Favourite one quite well, backed into 5-1 now. Go deserve a better choice. And at the end of the day, if you're still on her, you're getting a better price. Probably shorting on the day, but I would just scrap that one. Unlucky on the day. It turns up on the day, should have a more fair chance of winning it.
Okay. Matty, my performance of the weekend was Al Fabiolo, and surely you've got to be impressed with the way he won on Saturday.
Yeah, I think he should be Arkle favourite, to be honest, after that. Well, to be fair, Banbridge staying on a steam in second. I think that'll be the forecast in March as well. Cheltenham only benefit Banbridge with stiff finish. I think the two of them will be very hard to pass.
Okay. Luca, Galloping de Champs obviously won and cemented his place at the top of the market for the Gold Cup. Would he be your idea of the winner, or is it more open than it looks?
No, I thought he couldn't have been any more impressive, to be fair. He jumped the best he has, probably. Like he just like people that don't know, I don't know, just your average punter maybe didn't look like he was exuberant as he can be, but that's actually a good thing at this point in his career. He settled better, and Paul had to shake him up just to get him to go away. So I much preferred seeing that than what we used to see with him. Yeah. And yeah, he's definitely the best one. Like he hit the lines over 3 miles to hit the line that hard is quite impressive.
Yeah, definitely. Hands been good stead for the future. And Dawn, I'll let you have your piece on State Man. Take it away and try and convince people that he's going to beat Constitutional. I know you've got to do the impossible, but come on.
Not do the impossible, Joe. Everybody, let's not forget what was finishing behind him as well. There's a lot of, and I will just put it in there because I have to say there's been a circus around Honey the last week or so. Very emotional. We clapped her out. We clapped her back in. It's fantastic. She's going for the mares now. Let her go for the mares and let her take her chance. Like I said to you last week, State Man wins. Now we have a race with Constitution Hill. We've the Ginger Ninja and we've Mr. Horsegasm. And the two of them at Cheltenham, Tuesday in March, it's just going to be incredible. He was fantastic the other day. And again, I stick myself to the parade ring and I love watching them and I love seeing how they're moving and everything else. And he walked around, and my friend who's a photographer, he was like, he walks around like an old pony. He just does it so easy and so just like that, like I say, it's so easy. So with it being so easy for him and how easy he did it on Sunday, and like I say, I go back to the Morgiana in November, and that's when I went, "You're special, boy. You're very, very special." Christmas, he was special, and everybody cheering in Honey. The great thing was they were all cheering him in too, even everybody across your side of the pond, which was fantastic to see as well, having so many over. But he is the one that will put it to Constitution Hill now. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I am delighted I'm able to dig you out for the next couple of weeks about it. And I will be hoping, as much as I love Constitution Hill, we will be colouring the champion hurdle in yellow and black.
Okay.
It's on. It's on.
It's on. Anyway, before Cheltenham, we've got plenty of good races to get through in the next 5.5 weeks or whatever. We're going to start off with Newbury, the 150 this week, and it's a nice, easy race, Matty. 7-2 the field. Matty, get things kicked off for us.
Well, I struggled to pick a horse in the race, to be honest. I think they're probably all badly handicapped horses. It's competitive, but probably competitive for the wrong reason. I've picked Daniel Invictus. I think he's around about 6-1. He won a stronger handicap than this 3 runs ago at Cheltenham. Off a mark of, I think it was about 135. Off 135. He won that day. He went up to 139. They're taking 7 off with Freddie's claim, back off 132. Yeah, I think he'll run his race, but it's not a strong selection.
Okay. Luca, anything take your eye in the opener?
No, like Matt said, I think it was a shocking bad race. Obviously, just the ground in Newbury, it's good ground, and obviously it'll probably end up a bit quicker than that on the day. So, I thought West of the Bridge was the only one that's just consistent and always runs his race. Like, he was second in Utoxeter, and I honestly think Utoxeter race was better than this. At least for him, he'll be bang there. Whether he's good enough to win off that mark, I'm not sure, but he should be bang there just because he's the only one that really in that race has been in form and running his race. Everything else seems to be badly handicapped or not good enough.
Yeah, I have to agree. Harry, what about you?
Yeah, hopefully that's a good sign for Lucas said about West of the Bridge. 6-1, more than a fair price. Ran 2 really good races. Third at 20-1, second at 12-1. Actually been dropped a pound for the last race. Bridget, she's been riding out of her skin in a minute. Loves a big Saturday winner. And for me, like you said, well handicapped, should go on the ground. Team's in form. Let's say it's been dropping from his last race. So I'm currently at 6-1 if you fancy like a dirty each way bet. Like I said, it shouldn't run its race at a nice price.
Yeah, there is a fair few fairly bad handicaps in here. The one I'm going to take a chance on is Flemingstone, Paul Nichols and Bryony Frost of 1-2-2. Back in November 2021, I watched him win a decent novice on decent ground that day at Ascot. He's run decent races in defeat since, apart from last time out, which was in December. That was on very soft ground at Chepstow. That was too bad to be true. I'm going to take another chance on him, mainly because I think he'll enjoy the good ground. So that's not a confident opinion, but I think Flemingstone 10 to win is decent each way bet. Dawn, what do you like?
Well, what I did like came out. Newsrat was in, but then he came out, which broke my heart because I you know me about him and the Boodles. I need to see him again. I need to know what's going on. Then Jirash came out as well at Gary Moore's. So I was left scratching my head. I'm kind of with Luca and Harry, with that horse. But these handicap hurdles, I think, Joe, you enjoy doing this. You really, really do. I went with Barbados Bucks. I liked him. He was third last time out. He was 11 to Vanillier in the Albert Bartlett in 2021. I know we're not really seeing Vanillier that much, what he was before. And he was third to Ashtown Lad in October. So, you've a little bit of form there. He's quite nice. I like the name as well. I know you can't take much confidence in me saying, I like the name of that horsey, but that's what I'm going with. Newsret came out. I was scratching my head. Barbados Bucks, please.
Okay. So we move on to the 225 now, grade 2, Denman Chase with 3 mile. And everyone here knows I'm a massive fan of Hitman. So, but I know he is there to be shot at by everyone here. He's one of them Marmite horses. Luke, and I just want your thoughts on Hitman. Obviously, the King George, I fancied him for the King George, and he reportedly bled. How would you describe Hitman? Are you a fan or not?
No.
No?
I always thought he was a bit like ungenuine. He finished second so many times and never seemed to be quite good enough. But then the fact that, like, I saw him bleed in the King George probably kind of tells you why. Like, realistically, he's probably a handicapper. He's favourite for this, and he probably just should be. But I think that says more about the race than it does about Hitman.
Bleeding Warrior moving forward.
I mean, Paul Nicholls has had some real good horses bleed. You can read up on that, and it's kind of the best thing he probably did bleed, because at least they know now that that's a problem, and they've done the best to rectify it. But yeah, obviously it's not easy to, once they do bleed, it's not easy to kind of get them back on track. But he probably should be favourite, but I don't really think he's a grade one chaser. I think Eldorado Allen probably isn't quite either, but I think he is better than Hitman for this.
Yeah, okay. I'm a massive fan of him, and like we just said, he received £6 here from Eldorado Allen, which could and should swing things in his favour. I still believe he's a 3 miler, and I do believe he can win a race like this, which is a grade 2. Harry, I know you're not necessarily a fan of Hitman, but does he have to be top class to win a race like this?
Yeah. I know, he's got to bounce back from the last one, obviously. Things it goes away, issue comes up. Getting weight from Eldorado Allen, who brings the class into this field, he should be going close. But coming off a bad result, bleeding, can you trust him at that shorter price? Maybe if he drifts around about 2-1, you can maybe get in. But in all honesty, I think Eldorado Allen, if you want carrying a penalty, should be favourite in this. Can't have him because of that. Going to take a small chance with Fanny and Destrafal. Around about a 9-4-1 chance. Comes in off a good little run last time. It's in a small field, ran 3 times at the track, winning one of those. And like I said, if the race does go to plan, if he can settle, he stays, kicks clear. At the prices, just can't trust any of the top 2 yet. Like I said, if it does fall apart, stamina kick in, 9-2, might be filling your boots.
Okay. Dawn, can we still cling to the fact of what Lorcan said when he come on that time?
Well, I mean, Lorcan sold him to me at Christmas. I had a couple of people, including an uncle, on the phone to me afterwards going, Dawn, you owe me a couple of quid for that. But then it became apparent, that he had been bleeding, which is not pleasant for any horse, as well. So I'm glad that's kind of, it became apparent, and we now know maybe what the problem is. But he does have, I'm with Luke, he has seconditis, really. And I understand why you love him, Joe. I love why you keep the faith in him. I'm the same. I'm an eternal optimist when it comes to these horses, even ones that haven't run in maybe 3 years. But the top 2, between the 2 of them, Hitman should win it. Will he win it if he sorts out his little bit of a bleed, which is managed, all is not lost. Otherwise, I'd be going with Eldorado Allen. I really like him. Gorgeous grey, last seen, he was 4th to Brave Man's Game, but I know we can say, right, he was a bad 4th. But Ahoy Senor finished behind him. He was 11 lengths behind him, and we seen what Ahoy Senor did. So I'd have all the faith in him, really like him. And out of the 2 of them, with Hitman and Eldorado Allen, it'd be Eldorado Allen for me. I'm sorry, I have to leave your boy this time. He hurt me at Christmas. I can't be hurt the second time.
Matty, I would ask for your section first, but I've just seen you drinking water on a Thursday night rather than a glass of rosé. What's going on? Is it because Luke is in?
No, I just fancied a change.
A bit of a drastic change, that.
Keep the liver healthy. That's my plan. I might be drinking rosé tomorrow night when Quinta wins.
Yes.
What do you fancy in the Denman, mate?
Eldorado Allen. I think this should be favourite. Obviously, Hitman bled the last time. As Lucas said, it's very hard to get a bleeder back once they have bled. But Eldorado Allen's form is just a lot more solid than Hitman's. Hitman obviously finished second to Rides on the Storm at Aintree. That form's not great. And Eldorado Allen was second in a Charlie Hall. He's third in a Betfair Chase and fourth in a King George. I think that form just stand out, and I think he should be favourite. I think he just wins.
Okay, so everyone against Hitman apart from me then. Move on to the 3 o'clock now. The Game Spirit, another Grade 2, and Grenadine is going to be all the rage here on decent ground, and it's not a great field for even a Grade 2. Do think Grenadine wins, even though we've seen some odds-on shots beaten over the last 2 weekends. Don't think this is going to be one of them. Harry, Grenadine, short and simple, is it?
Yeah, crap price, wouldn't back it. Make a cup of tea, have a biscuit, sit down and watch a nice horse run.
Grenadine? Grenadine, Dawn? Yeah.
Yeah. I do like Grenadine quite a bit. There's everything to like about him. You know, he's beaten your boy Hitman. He's even beat Altior. So you can't really. I mean, I couldn't have him at that price. I can't stick him in anywhere. He looks like the winner, but I do think Peter Niven's horse Melistic will have a good run as well. I really like that horse. He's a relation to Clever Cookie. And I was listening to Peter Niven in an interview the other day, and he was actually going to ride him a piece of work himself, like we've seen Tony Mullins doing on Princess Zoe. So, and you know, he won 2 weeks ago a handicap chase, and he bet a good horse that was second to Editor de Geet and third to All Mankind. So there's a bit of form there. There's a bit of romance there. Danny McMenamin is up. Now I'm struggling, not even with French. He's 11-2, 7-1 in places. I'd prefer to have a play on him. You know me, I'm a bit of a romantic as well. I think Grenadine wins, but I'd love to see Melistic, however you say it. Call him what you like. However, I'd really like to see him run a big race on Saturday for Peter.
Okay. Short price, Luca, but a simple task, is it?
I'd have thought so, yeah. Like the field's cut up, obviously because of the ground. Grenadine would probably go on the ground. Sounds stupid, but I was surprised that Sir Royale wasn't in this rather than going over to Ireland. I know we all say that we should take him over and all this, but this literally would have been the perfect race for him.
Yeah.
He probably would have come off second best, but he'd have given it a good go rather than being the Minear second string in Dublin. So I was surprised he wasn't in it just because of the ground and the track and everything. So, but yeah, Grenadine will just win, I'd say.
Martin?
Yeah, Grenadine. Yeah, if he stands on his 4 legs, he wins.
Yeah, definitely. We'll agree there. So for me, this is the race of the day. It's the Betfair Hurdle, ultra competitive handicap. I'm going to be greedy and have 2 in it. But before we get to mine, Matty, do you want to kick things off in the Betfair Hurdle for us?
I quite like Master Chewy.
How you talking?
Obviously, novices have a great record in this race. I mean, I know he's still never won a race, but the form's solid enough. Second to Attica, it's now rated 132. Second to Hansard, it's now rated 132. Then got a mark of 124. Nigel loves the race. Yeah, I think he's got a nice weight. I think he'll go close, and he has been backed quite heavily today. He opened up 25s or 22s today. He's into 12s already. So, yeah, Master Chewy.
Yeah, you're nodding your head, Harry. Are you a Master Chewy?
Yeah, well, we spoke about him many a times. I saw him a couple of times when he ran at Cheltenham.
Yeah.
For me, he's just so frustrating. It's like when we were at Cheltenham watching it, come into it, cruising, made an absolute hash of the last, and then looked like he was getting there, and just didn't get there at the line. Like I said, everything agreeing with what Matty said, he's been backed. For me, if he can just sharpen up his jumping, can be a bit headstrong. If Sam can just get him into a nice race, get him tucked in, and actually can find something at the finish, comes in there off a nice weight, at the price is 12-1, he's still a nice each way price. The place is an offer, so fingers crossed he can settle, come into the race nice, pop him, just God forbid, hopefully just find something, get the finish where it matters.
Yeah, I'm with Master Chewy, like you say. I stood next to you at Cheltenham when he was beaten by Attica, and it looked like he threw the race away. He definitely did the time before when he was clear at the last at Ascot. I think he's a type that needs to be smuggled into the race. I'm not sure if we find much off the bridle, so Sam's got to play him as late as he possibly dares. The big field and the strong pace would definitely help him. He's all been running a small field so far. A massive plus for him. And the yard had the connections had the second last year. I like to move it, so they obviously like to target the race. And he has been beaten by some decent horses so far, like Matty said. Hans has a decent horse, and so is Attica. So yeah, I think he's primed for a big run in this. The other one I want to keep an eye on as well is Highway 102. He's well beaten this back in 2021. He's £2 lower. However, if you look at his form, he's in much better form now than he was then heading to the race. In second at Farnwell, his first Ascot, he beat Hacker de Places by 7 lengths, giving £2 away plus the claim. Third in the Christmas hurdle, obviously it was just a bit of chasing the prize money, but he ran well for a long way in that. So yeah, that'd be my two, Dawn. I like to be greedy, Master Chewy and Highway 102, but Master Chewy would be my most confident selection. Dawn, what do you like?
Well, you're mentioning Highway 102. He kind of stood out to me. It was the third on Boxing Day, Joe. That's what I liked, but it's also the hack of the class. Bit of form there too. You know, we seen him win the other day for the owners group. He was really good. Well, 2 weeks ago, and Angus Chaldea is up on him again. He seems to get a really good squeak out of the horse. You know, he's taken 5 off. So they were saying 11-4 with the penalty. But he was so impressive 2 weeks ago. I kept the faith in him then. I really liked him. So he's about 7-1, 8-1. Liked him. And King Willie is sending one over. You never mentioned either. Icar Allen. When we were at Ferry House back at the start of December, Barry Geraghty marked Icar Allen up as one of the favourites for the day. Now we've seen it was bet by Merlin Giant. And you know, I always bang on about Merlin Giant because it's dad's lad form. And Icar Allen was 5th to Vauban last year at the Dublin Racing Festival. Ile Tomps was 3rd, who we seen win last week. Again, the pronunciation, but it means it's about time. And was 4th to Vauban in the Triumph Hurdle. So 14-1 value, King Willie sending over, you know. So Hacker de Place, bit of each way value for King Willie and Icar Allen, because I'm remembering what Barry said at the start of December.
Okay. Yeah, Luca, the Irish have sent a couple over, and it won't be no surprise to see the Irish take it home. But where do you see the price heading?
Well, when I had a quick look, I fancied Master Chewy, but
okay,
I've seen him in the flesh a couple of times, and he is big. Like, he's a big horse, and obviously he's a point winner and stuff. So he's plenty of size, and my worry would be the ground for him.
Right, yeah.
Like, I know he can travel along and trap along, but that's been in novices. I don't think there'll be any worries with him being keen in this. And I think a couple of, like, obviously he fell when he was going to win an Ascot, and always looks like he half throws the race away, but I just don't think he's that quick. When you really let him down, he kind of flatters to deceive a little bit.
Yeah.
And I just think that might really exaggerate on the ground in Saturday. And I think ground at the weekend will be a massive thing, especially around Newbury. And I don't know, he's been really disappointing now for a few years, but Tritonic obviously came off a flat. And yeah, he has been like horrifically disappointing, but I just think on that ground, he will probably look flat out for a long way, but he will go on the ground. And if you look back through his old form, he's probably not badly handicapped, but he does need to come back to that form somehow.
Yeah, the ground is definitely key. I imagine there could be a few non-runners during the day if this.
Yeah.
We move on from Newbury, movement to Warwick, and I think, Luca, the ground's going to be a bit worse at Warwick than Newbury, isn't it? Good fair ground at Warwick, would you say?
Yeah, well, it's down at the moment. Officially, it's good soft in places, but reading the going report, it sounds like it will end up good ground.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, obviously we could do the shower everywhere, but it's going to be good ground wherever you go this weekend, I'd assume.
Yeah, definitely. Going to start off in the 1:30. If you don't mind, set us off. Stolen Silver leads the fielder 6-4. He's my idea of the winner. What about you with Stolen Silver?
Is this me? Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
I'm not with Stolen Silver actually. I'm actually with Mackenberg, Donald McCain's horse. Obviously, he loves winning. He's done a lot of that. He was beaten 6 lengths last time out off 144. He got dropped a pound for that. Brian Hughes rode him that day. Obviously, Theo Gillard taking the 3 off, which is back down to his last winning mark of 140. You know, he jumps well and he travels, strong traveller. He's back off his last winning mark. It's a trappy little race, but I think 5-1, you could be a stinge back and back in each way, but 5-1, I think not a bad bet at all.
Okay. Harry, an old favourite of yours, lines up here, 11-year-old Messiah Desabo. Big task for him to win, isn't it, Saturday?
Yeah, you know, I fancied him last time out when he ran. Bitterly disappointing. Not expecting too much from that chap, to be honest. It's a tricky old race, very trappy. I think the only way Stolen Silver wins, obviously, he's got to carry the weight. But if it's a nicely ran race, he can go and trap the leaders. He's far by the best horse in this race. Does have to carry the cost down. They do set a nice little pace, and he can just get a nice toe into the race. He should win. Ground, he should be fine on if it doesn't get any drier. At the current price is 6-4. I wouldn't play him at the minute. But if something else got backed and he drifted out to 15-8, I would say he's worth a couple of quid. But like I say, very trappy. If it's run at a nice gallop, get a nice toe into the race, should win if he can carry the weight.
Yeah, it's definitely a good opportunity for Stolen Silver. Getting his first win since April, which was at Aintree. He's second on New Year's Day, solid form, and he deserves to be favoured, doesn't he, Luca? Stolen Silver.
Yeah, no, he should go around and win. Yeah, like obviously you guys saying he's got top stone and everything, which is probably going to be the only thing that could stop him. But he is a class above these, so he should just carry it.
Yeah, and Dawn, another vote for Stolen Silver.
Oh, absolutely, Joe. After his run, I thought he probably would have won New Year's Day. He hung a little bit left. That was the only thing I had him that day. And you know, I love digging back. And what I loved was when he was still with Nige, he actually bet Edward Stone, and I follow Edward Stone everywhere form-wise, and it seems to like set up nicely. He was second to Editor de Geet as well, so you can't. And yeah, the 12 stone is a bit of a. I'm completely with Luca, but with the ground not being, you know, a bog, he's not going to be sunk in it either. So to me, he looks like the winner. Definitely. I had a glance at the rest of them and I said, no, not with his form. He's above them, you know.
Okay, Stolen Silver for Dawn. So moving to the 5-2 now at Warwick, and listed Mare's Hurdle. Festival winner Love Envoy is the favourite here, 4-7. We touched on it before the off on the ground and stuff like that. And Love Envoy, Matty, is she a bit of a should she be taken on this ground?
Possibly on this ground, yeah. But I mean, she should have the class to win. The one I like at a price is Indefatigable. It's about 25-1. I know she's been in rotten form recently, but she actually hasn't run against her own sex for a long time. So back against the mares, I think you could even play the straight forecast with Love Envoy, 4-7, 25-1. If you want to take her on, you could back her Indefatigable each way without the favourite. I just think back against the mares and the fillies, it's worth it, a small punt.
Dawn, I know you like Love Envoy, 4-7, bit short, but does she win?
Look, it's the weekend of love, you know, so all we want is love, whether you're in love or not. Like, so Love Envoy, I really don't want to look past her. Noel Feely was saying during the week she wore a hood down to post last time, so you wonder, is she a little bit spicy, or is she getting a little bit, you know, turned on to racing now or whatever? You kind of want to, with the amount that she's won so far, but you can't ignore, you know, we talk ad nauseum, Joe, about Dino Blue. You've Impervious form in there. You've Brandy Love, who we're going to see in 2 weeks. Night and Day, who was ninth behind her as well. You see this form is just coming, and we know how good the mares is going to be in March too. So I don't want to look past her. Yeah, she's no price, but all we need is love, and all we need at the weekend is Love Envoy. So I'm all into her, and I looked at Theatre Glory. She can be second to her, but it's all about Love Envoy for me.
Yeah, Theatre Glory's been a bit frustrating for me. I think I've tipped up a few times on the pod. Harry, one of your favourite yards, Harry Skelton and Dan Skelton, have got to run a Molly's Ollie's Wishes. Can she upset the favourite?
Not on the ground, in my opinion. She needs it a bit softer. Credit to the yard. Winning back-to-back races a few times ago. Really, really yardstick. For me, if Love Envoy just handles the ground, she wins. That'd be the only negative, would be the ground. It's one of those. Should win. If she copes with the ground, she's up in this.
Luca, Love Envoy's turned into a bit of a winning machine, hasn't she?
Yeah, no, she's been class. I do seriously worry about the ground though. Even when you watch her go around places like Sandown, even in the soft ground, she makes it look like good ground. So, I would be if it ended up just being good, I'd be shocked if they ran her just because of the way she is and when you watch her, the knee action and stuff. So, Molly Ollie's Wishes probably wants it a bit softer as well, but I think she will. If it's good ground and they both run, I think it will hinder Love Envoy more than Molly Ollie's Wishes, and I think she's probably she'll be able to travel away fine, and she might not be good enough in the end, but I think if it was good ground, she could be the one that could half cause an upset.
Okay, Molly Ollie's Wishes for Luca. So the last race we're going to look at is the Kingmaker, the 240 Grade 2 Novice Chase, 2 miles. Harry, your beloved John Bon lines up here, very short, 2 to 9. He's got to make a statement, a response to Al Fabiolo over in Ireland last week. We're not going to learn a lot, I don't think, are we?
No, you're not going to learn a lot, but you just want to see him jump, ping, 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 and just put a statement down. After what El Fabiolo did on the weekend, you don't have to necessarily see a good performance. You could go around, look a bit laboured and still win. You go, well, it's just one of those. For me, I do want to go and see there, set a nice pace, ping his fences, and just put a right proper statement down. Like I say, El Fabiolo's backed into around about 7 to 4 now. John Bon wins on the weekend. They probably touch 5 to 6, 10 to 11. Yeah, I just wanted to make a nice statement. Come the festival, it'd probably be about 4 to 6 on, 15 to 8 El Fabiolo. But I don't care what anybody else think. Comes the festival, just easy money. They just win. Fingers crossed he can ping his fences on the weekend, make a statement, just money where his mouth is, just prove he's the best novice chaser around.
Okay. I'm guilty of it, Luca, but of slating form. But John Bon sometimes he can only beat what's in front of him, can he? Or behind him, so to speak.
Yeah, I think this weekend we'll probably find out more about him than we have over fences. I think the Gary Moore horse is actually very good.
Right, okay.
And I think he's obviously won handicaps and he's back in a novice. He will most likely make the run-in and go a real good gallop. And if there is any kind of kinks in John Bon's jumping, he's going to have to go up again. I know he won a Grade 1 novice, but he's up against a handicapper, really, that can go a good gallop in handicap. So he should be able to make it a proper test. And if, like, John Bon misses all 5 fences down the back, then he'll have to do well to get back into it. But I think John Bon should win. He should definitely win, but I think it won't be as straightforward mid-race as you would think at first glance. But yeah, like I said, I think we'll find out more about him this weekend than we have so far, because I honestly do think the Gary Moore horse is quite nice.
Okay. Go on, what do you want to see from John Bon Saturday? I
want him to show that he is, going to put it to Al Fabiolo, because Al Fabiolo, I was silly. Well, not silly enough, because I was all appreciated. I haven't forsaken him. I know he's going for the Turners now, but Al Fabiolo last week, his head's as big as my body. He is just all there and he's all man. And we can't forget that he was only beaten by a neck by John Bon at Aintree, So this again, we said earlier about Stateman and Constitution Hill. The Arkle is going to be some decent race too. between John Bon and Al Fabiola, and I'm sure there's going to be a few more we'll consider in the long run. But yeah, you really want John Bon to show that he is going to put it to Al Fabiola. I think he will. I adore John Bon. I really, really do. And his performances time and time again, he's proven that, you know, you kind of go, well, what more do you want him to do either? But I am with Luca too. That Gary Moore horse, his last win, he won by 19 lengths. And the horse that finished behind him won last week at Hereford. So you would say if the real John Bon that we want to see doesn't turn up, and we seen last week at Dublin Racing Festival, we had some shocks. You know, as much as everybody was happy and delighted and excited, they were throwing their anti-posts in the bin afterwards. We don't want to be throwing the anti-post John Bons in the bin. This is called a kingmaker, and it's the kingmaker for a reason. So John Bon proved that you are king. And if it's not going to be John Bon, then I'd like it to be the Gary Moore horse. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it to myself or your ears. So you know which one with the French name.
Matty, are you a fan of John Bon?
I am. I think he probably deserves to be Arkle favourite on what he's done, I suppose. But as Lucas said, this Gary Moore horse, he goes a frightening gallop and he jumps. I think he actually will test John Bon's jumping. Gary Moore horse has won round Warwick before. He won last time around Warwick. He won at Doncaster time before. Although he's won a handicap, he is probably still a bit unexposed. We don't know how good he actually is. Listen, I want John Bon to win by half a track, so El Fabiolo's price gets pushed out even further. So I think El Fabiolo will win the Arkle, but I think John Bon just wins, but it wouldn't surprise me in any way, shape or form if Hadex Sobo does beat John Bon this weekend.
Okay. Just quickly on while you're on, Luke, Warwick, it's jumping wise, fairly stiff jumping track, is it? I mean, you got a proper jumping test, haven't you, along the back straight?
Yeah, there's 5 fences in a line before you turn into the straight. They are lovely fences. They're not big or anything, but if you kind of miss the first one, you're out of rhythm, and you know, it's hard to get back into a rhythm because you haven't got long between fences. Yeah. It's kind of like the railway fences. If you see a horse miss the first one of them, they normally come out of it towards the back of the telly. But yeah, my point is, I just think the Gary Moore horse obviously able to make the run in a handicap and go clear. If it does the same again and wings all the 5 fences down the back, it will put pressure on John Bon. I still think he'd win either way. But here, more so, John Bon will probably learn more going around Warwick than he ever has done anywhere else.
Yeah, I have to agree. So quickly before we leave, I'm going to any of the business. I've got a couple. Just anyone who's interested in Mr. Kofi, however you pronounce it. I know Derek O'Connor is over to ride in the 245 at Utoxeter. So Derek O'Connor's over to ride one for Nicky. That will probably reveal his target for the festival in the Kimura or the National Chase. And the 325 Naystorm, Dino Blue versus Ellie May. Ellie May has to give loads of weight to Dino Blue. I think Dino Blue is the up-and-coming mare, newcomer on the block. Imperius beat at 3 lengths. Imperius is 7-4 for the mare's chase. Dino Blue is 16-1, and I'm sure she can get a lot closer. So with this in mind, I think hopefully we'll see Dino Blue win on Saturday and then go to the mare's chase, because I think she's a brilliant mare. She jumping display last time out was superb. So keep an eye on Dino Blue. Matty, any of the business?
No, I haven't really had a proper look this weekend. It's all about ground, isn't it? If there could be a host of on-runners everywhere if it dries up, which it's looking like it will do. But to be honest, I'm quite excited to watch Master Chewy. I think if he does handle the ground, Luke said he is a big horse, but I think he could be very well handicapped. And a fast run race, he won't be keen. He should settle and hopefully have something to aim at towards the end of the race, and hopefully finishes his race off properly for once.
Definitely, I'll look forward to that too. Dawn, anything yourself stand out anywhere else?
Yeah, the first Nace is really, really good. Very good horse, Charles Burns, biker. I seen him 2 weeks ago. He's really, really good. He's 12-1 for the Boodles. There's just he's a different class. And when during his flat career, he was actually fourth to miss the cut. People have been talking about that as, and I'm going to mention the F word, the flat horse, the top 5 flat horse for this season coming. There's been whisperings around Newmarket supposedly. So I know we're talking flat, we're talking National Hunt, chalk and cheese, but Biker, Jazzy Matty is in that race too. I haven't given up the faith on Jazzy Matty. He's now pushed out to 25s. Delta Work's little half bro. Speaking of Delta Work, he's in the Boyne Hurdle at Navan on Sunday. He's going up against Blaze and Cal. We're finally getting to see Blaze and Cal after his setback, because Charles did say that it was 50-50 whether he would go still to Cheltenham. So we're probably going to see, but it seems like Delta Work may be doing what Tiger did a couple of years ago. He's going to do the Boyne, he's going to go to Cheltenham, then he's going to go to the National. So it'll be interesting. It'll probably be a bit of an education as well. But very good racing. And I'm off to a point on Sunday. I haven't pointed in a long time. And 2 horses that are going to be in the Hunters at Cheltenham. The Storyteller, Darling Storyteller, who won me a lot of money when he won the Browns and was second in the pre-temps he runs, and a good old Hardline as well. He's now Alex Hutter's, originally Gigginstown. He's also running. So, and we've got Bill away at Naas as well. So it's jam packed again. We're spoiled. Sure, we're blessed. Yeah, and of course Luca tomorrow as well on Quintus. So it's all good.
Harry, anything take your eye elsewhere on the card?
Yeah, a bit like you with Dino Blue. Hits the 5, should win, won't be a play. Did you say 16-1 it's gone out now for Cheltenham?
Yeah.
Yeah, have a few quid on that. If it wins, it'll probably go 10-12-1, probably a tad shorter. Like you said, it hasn't got much ground to find with the favourite. 4-1, 16-1, 5 each, where the price is. Should get a run for your money come the festival.
Okay. And Luca, where are you at the weekend? You're at Warwick, understand, and you're on Quinto de Mar tomorrow, is that right?
Yeah, Templeton tomorrow, and then just one at work on Saturday. You were just mentioning a few horses that were running on Saturday. I had a look at the listed bumper in Newbury. Betting in bumpers is a bit of a car crash, probably. But so there's one horse on Nichols's that Harry Cobner's actually got off.
Fire Flyer.
Yeah. Harry Cobner chose to ride Meatloaf. Obviously, I beat Meatloaf on a bumper horse of Ben's that was quite nice.
Yeah.
And we really like him. So it sounds stupid that I'm going against him, but I just think sometimes those 4-year-olds really struggle. I know they get loads of allowances, but I do think they struggle just this year to kind of run against the older horses. And I thought Nichols's horse looked really good at Ascot on good. Well, it was probably good to soft ground, so it'd probably handle the ground, and that bump's working out really well. So I think he could be the winner of that one.
That bumper looks pretty good on paper, doesn't it, on Saturday?
Yeah, no, it looks good. Yeah, so we'll see. We will see.
Good stuff. And that concludes our Race Social Weekend preview. Thank you, as always, for everyone to coming along tonight. Luca, hopefully we'll see you again, and good luck in your chase for the title.
Thanks very much.
And cheers. And good luck to everyone punting this weekend, and we'll see you the weekend after next Saturday. Thank you very much for watching, everyone.